Greetings everyone! Today I'm making pork and shrimp dumplings. Here are a list of ingredients. Dumplings are something that I've always felt hassled to make as it's so easy to find incredible dumplings here in Taipei. However, I felt strangely inspired after watching Life of Boris making Russian pelmeni and I wanted to try it out for myself. There are many kinds of dumplings, but the ones I want to focus on today is the more day-to-day style boiled dumplings. In this video, I will be showing you how I go about making dumplings and shaping them like Russian pelmeni. First things first, we need to make the dough that will be used to wrap the fillings. In a large bowl, I'm adding in a mix of all-purpose flour, water, and a pinch of salt. In terms of hydration, 55 to 60% is the go-to level for making this style of dumpling. Anything higher than 60%, the dumplings are likely to burst when you boil them. After mixing them up, I'm just going to leave it in the bowl for 30 minutes or so to give it some time to rest. In the meantime, we'll start prepping our fillings. Here are some Taiwanese cabbage. We first need to salt them to draw out most of the moisture. Just sprinkle a good amount of salt over the cabbage and give it a mix to evenly distribute the salt. We'll chop the cabbage into small pieces. One thing to keep in mind is that as the salt continues to draw out moisture, their size will shrink significantly. So just keep that in mind when chopping them. If it is slightly bigger than you want them to be, then they will be perfect after removing the extra moisture. Once I've cut them into the size I want, I'm transferring them back into the bowl so that it purge the water. After 5 to 10 minutes, their size has shrunk significantly. I will then rinse off the salt and squeeze them to get rid of any remaining liquid. Once no more liquids are dripping out, then they're ready to be used. Set them aside and move on to the aromatics. You can just add in minced green onions and ginger. Another method I've seen restaurants do is to infuse those aromatics into some kind of liquid and just use that liquid instead. All we're going to do is to roughly chop up some green onions and ginger, add them to the bowl, pour in roughly 1 cup of water, and we just need to massage the ginger and onion in order to infuse the aroma into the water. It's best to leave it for a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to leave it there and move on to my protein. For the shrimps, all we need to do is chop them into rough paste. You can use food processor, but I don't feel like dirtying my food processor for such a small amount of shrimp. Ground pork in a bowl, we'll add in all the ingredients. Add in the cabbage, the shrimps, and the infused water and start mixing them. Mine is much too dry, so I'm going to add more of those infused water. Then add in a pinch of salt, some sugar, I'm using simple syrup here, and some MSG. Oh, almost forgot. Adding some sesame oil as well. This will improve both the flavor and the texture. That's pretty much it for the filling. We can set them aside and have a look at our dough. For the dough, knead it for a couple minutes before we divide them into several pieces. Then using a rolling pin, roll them until the thickness is just below 1 mm. I'm not very good with rolling dumpling wraps, so I'm using the cheat method, which is to cut them out using a mold. However, the proper way to do this is by dividing the dough into small pieces and rolling each piece into dumpling wraps. You can do it whichever way you find easier. The key here is to make them no thicker than 1 mm. To fold the dumplings, get a wrap and spoon in some filling in the middle of the wrap. Dab some water around the edge, fold it over, press the edge to seal it tight. Now this shape is not traditional, but I want to make them like Russian pelmeni. To do so, grab the two edges on the side and fold them over together and give it a press to seal them up. If you didn't catch it, let's do another one. Seal the wrap, grab the edge, and fold them over each other. Now that I have a bunch of dumplings, some are Russian pelmeni shaped and some are just traditional dumpling, we're going to boil them. Get a pot of boiling water, throw your dumplings in and boil them until they're starting to float. Once you see them floating, keep boiling them for another minute or so. Once they are done, strain and serve them with a dipping sauce of your choice. I feel like dipping them in soy sauce with rice wine vinegar today. Normally I also add garlic, fresh chili, and sesame oil, which also tastes great with dumplings. These dumplings freezes extremely well. You can make a ton of these ahead of time. Freeze it and just cook them for a quick weeknight meal. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe give it a try. Leave a comment if you have any question about my recipe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.